And let's talk now about some news that broke last week. A New York judge ruled Trump, the Trump Organization, and his business associates, including some of his children, committed fraud by inflating the value of their assets. So give us the backstory here. You recently wrote for Forbes that Trump is notorious for avoiding a paper trail. So how did this catch up to him?
So the fundamental problem is that if you're trying to convince banks or insurers that you're really, really rich, which he was trying to do, that you're richer than you are, which he was trying to do, you have to sign a bunch of papers and agree to a bunch of things saying, yeah, hey, this is all real. I'm actually this rich and I signed this, and there are going to be penalties if I'm lying to you, whatever. So he did that. And that creates a huge paper trail. Now he's faced with trying to convince prosecutors that paper trail that he left, that really it wasn't all that serious. He wasn't really saying that all of those things were necessarily real. He had huge disclaimers on all the documents, and they, were just suggestions, and they didn't even matter, and banks didn't take them seriously anyway. That's a very, very difficult case for him to make. And that's why you saw a judge rule that he was personally liable for fraud before the trial even started. Trump's fighting an uphill battle here. The documents are very clear. He was lying about his net worth for years. He did send that to lenders, and he's going to have a tough time at trial.
How does this decision then in New York affect his business going forward in the future?
So a lot remains to be seen about what the penalties are going to be and what he's forced to do. So there's been some talk about, is he going to have to sell off assets? The judge has been a little bit unclear about whether he's going to have to do that and what he's going to have to sell off. Theoretically, if you sell off assets, then you can get money back for them. Many of his properties are not highly leveraged, so he should theoretically be able to sell them off and pay back the loans that he owes. One property that might be a bit of a challenge is 40 Wall Street. This is a tower that he owns in the financial district in New York City. But he does have some protection in that two of his largest assets are 1290 Avenue of the Americas and 555 California Street, two buildings in which he only owns 30% interests alongside Vornado Realty Trust, which owns the other 70%. It's difficult to see them forcing any drastic action with those, especially because Trump was more honest about the finances of those properties, and they're controlled by somebody else. And like I said, he does have a significant amount of cash that he can use to pay whatever penalties or other things that he's going to face. This is going to restrict him a lot, and it's going to affect his ability to grow. But Donald Trump's not going to become a poor person because of this trial. It's just going to be painful for him.